This new group's main priority is the economy, which is weighing heavily on both the American public and the president himself. He calls it the biggest decision he's ever had to make when and how to reopen the country.
The United States is continuing to make substantial progress in our war against the virus.
The latest battle to roll back restrictions.
It's going to be very, very close, maybe even before the date of May 1st.
You're talking about reopening parts of the country by the end of the month, and if you do that, and as a result, you see a spike in cases.
We may not, but we may not. You know, some countries haven't, some countries haven't. I'm watching other countries. I'm studying other countries as they open.
In the Rose Garden Tuesday, President Trump focused on getting Americans back to work.
The plans to reopen the country are close to being finalized, and we will soon be sharing details and new guidelines with everybody.
And that includes faith leaders.
We'll be talking about churches, and we'll be talking about opening.
Several states from New York to California have already begun discussing ways to begin. Steve, you're talking about different states, different businesses. Right. Bottom line, what needs to be done to reopen the economy?
Well, the president's going to need to issue an executive order saying that certain states can open, but ultimately the logistics of this will be decided by the nation's governors.
I will be speaking to all 50 governors very shortly, and I will then be authorizing each individual governor of each individual state to implement a reopening.
Trump predicts once doors are open again, the economy will take off like a rocket. Observers warn some workers and even consumers will be hesitant to return to life as it was.
I think if the government can focus on consumer confidence with the underlying principle for communications being truth, then I think demand will start to come back.
How long do you think it'll take before we're basically back to normal?
When are we going to get back to normal? That is the question that all of us want an answer to. It's not going to be like an ignition switch of a car that we can just reopen the economy and everybody's going to get back to work. I wish that were the case. It's going to take, in my opinion, about 3 or 4 months before we have the end of this recession, and it's going to be a slow recovery.
Now, officials will have to be cautious. The Minneapolis Federal Reserve president warns that when restrictions have been relaxed in other countries, the virus has flared back up again. Reopening will also be difficult for many small businesses who employ about half of all private sector employees. The CDC says the first step to reopening is widespread testing, which is not yet available. It'll also likely be a year before a coronavirus vaccine is available. Ben Kennedy, CBN News,